Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will be showing you guys some Great League battles with this new team I created. I will be using the classic gym defenders that you'll see in the gym, but there will be a part 2 to this, so please watch to the end to see my score. And with that being said, let's get on with today's video. For the first round, my opponent's first Pokemon is a Swampert. So I'm using Snorlax as the first Pokemon, and my opponent's first Pokemon is a Swampert. So this could go either way, because Swampert can learn heavy hitting moves like Sludge Wave or Earthquake that do pack a punch, and his Hydro Cannons are like machine guns, bro. They load up super fast. I don't know the thing, but it's probably going to be an Earthquake or a Sludge Wave from how fast that he's loaded up, and I won't shield, and it is an Earthquake. He took out, that was a lot of health, but I did have that defense debuff on, and I actually do get another superpower off that. I think that he does shield. This is really good for us. He's down by 2 shields, but I don't have a counter against his Pokemon, because I do have a Chansey, Snorlax, and a Drifblim. So I actually found these Pokemon. I searched it up, looking up the best gym defenders. But of course, like the Pokemon like Dragonite and Metagross, you can't use that for Great League. But he does swap out to an Altaria. This is really good for me, but you'll guys see that Chansey's Dazzling Gleam does not do that much damage. Look how much damage this does. Keep in mind that Dazzling Gleam is a Fairy type charge move, and Fairy types are super effective against Dragon types, but this did barely any damage. Guys, look at that. Like, what? That's supposed to faint him right there, because Dazzling Gleam is usually such a strong move, but I don't know what happened. So Chansey against Altaria. Altaria's moves do barely any damage, because Chansey is a gym defender. Because of the, as you guys see, like, look how much damage that did. The Sky Attack, it barely did any damage. That's why Chansey has a really good defense and health so that's why he's in the gyms. He's so often in the gyms. So sadly, I could not get another one here in time, so I did have to shield her here just to get that Dazzling Gleam. So he is using double moves with Muddy Water and Earthquake. That's good to keep in mind. My Drifblim, that barely does any damage to my Drifblim, and I got that extra bit of energy since I finished him off. So his second Pokemon is Cradley, I think. So he is a rock and grass type Pokemon. This Icy Wind will do super effective damage. I'm hoping that it will faint. No, sadly it didn't faint. He does have an attack for, I don't know the charge move. I think during the battle it is a Stone Edge. Yep, it was a Stone Edge. Look how much damage this did. Keep in mind that he also had an attack debuff. He does swap out to his Altaria, but sadly I could not swap out to my Chansey, and his Altaria ends up finishing both of my Pokemon. I don't know why he threw in the Sky Attack right there, but yeah guys, so I end up going down right here, losing the first round. Good game to my opponent. For the second round, my opponent's first Pokemon is a Victory Bell. Oh, it's a Shadow Victory Bell, so that means that he has 30% more attack and 30% less defense, I think. So he does do lots of damage. Victory Bell is just a strong Pokemon, even without the Shadow form. He is really strong. You guys should try and use him if you guys want. But he is actually a really strong Pokemon. So he ends up shielding that right there. He could have finished him off, but he swaps out to another Shadow Pokemon, Ursaring. So he did do super effective damage, so that makes me realize that he does have counter. Counter is a fighting type move, and fighting is super effective against normal type. So I swap out to Chansey and try and get that Dazzling Gleam, even though it won't do as much damage. I didn't really know that, so that's why I swapped out to Chansey. He could bulk out the Ursaling's counter attacks, so I had to shield it here. It only ended up being a Hyper Beam. Chansey could have tanked that, but I swapped out to Drift Bloom just in time before he got another Hyper Beam off, and I will have to shield it here. Actually, no. I'm gonna see how much damage it does first. So that didn't do not very effective damage, but as you guys saw, that did a lot. So I threw in the Icy Window here. This will be an attack debuff, which is good. I double resist his counter fast move. You know how his fighting type fast move, since fighting types are not very effective against ghost types and not very effective against flying types, that means I double resist it, so that's really good for us. Another Hyper Beam goes through. I had to shield that right there. I also have another Icy Wind. I think I'm gonna commit to the farm down, try to stack up some Icy Winds for his next Pokemon, and I finally take out his Ursaring. Alright, nice. It ended up being a Shadow Mewtwo. So I forgot his other Pokemon, but this Icy one should do a lot of damage. Yup. And Shadow Mewtwo does have a less defense as well. It is a Shadow type Pokemon. So he ends up going down right here, and there was a Victory Bell. So this Dazzling Gleam will do even more, barely any damage. Look how much damage I did. Like, what? This could have been a close one if he did swap out to that Victory Bell. That was a really good play by my opponent. This wasn't Acid Spray. This is a defense debuff, and his Leaf or Grass type fast move did enough damage to finish me off. He was 1 HP. If my Drifloon did have enough damage, I could have won that second round, but good game to my opponent. For the third round, my opponent's first Pokemon is a Meganium. So I could swap out to Drifloon, but I think I did decide to stick the Snorlax against Meganium. This superpower, I think he did shield this superpower. And I'm not going to shield this right here since I could tank the Frenzy Plant, since I don't have an attack or defense debuff from that superpower. So that still did a good amount of damage, but it is okay. So that I do throw in that superpower, and he's down by 1 shield, and then I swap out to Drifloon right here. And then he does swap out to a Bastiodon, guys. This is not looking too good for us, because Bastiodon is a rock and metal type Pokemon, meaning he does fully counter Drifloon. So my only counter against that Bastiodon is my Snorlax with his superpower. His superpower will do so much damage, but I think he's deciding to commit to the farm down right here. But I do get a plenty amount of Icy Winds off on him, which brings him to half health after that one-on-one with Drifloon against Bastiodon, which was good. And I actually clutched that Icy one right here. That was really nice. And that's, I think, 3 Icy Winds off of him. That's three stacked attack debuffs. He is half health now, so I will have to swap out to my Snorlax, try and get that extra superpower off. I am going to shield right here since it is my only counter once again, because that Chansey's Dazzling Gleam and my fast move Pound will do doo-doo damage. So I will have to shield here once again. He is left with one more shield, so I'm thinking that he will shield this stone, my superpower. If I get to 2, that would be really nice, but it's like obvious that I couldn't, so I just had to throw in the superpower right here. And oh, I think he lagged a bit. So he does swap out to Meganium once again. So I will have to swap out to my Chansey. So my Chansey counters it doesn't counter, but it could tank the Meganium. Look how much damage that did. Chansey is a really defensive Pokemon. Like, he barely does any damage. Probably the only thing I was worried about was the timer going off because of that Chansey, because he does take so long to die or to faint. So another Frenzy Plant goes off right here. I'm left with 0 shields. I can't shield anything. And he's left us with 1 shield too, I think. Yep, he is. And this Dazzling Gleam will do not very effective damage, but neutral damage. But it will do as much damage as a not very effective damage. So this is not looking too good. So I throw in the Dazzling Gleam right here. And I think that he does shield this. Yep, he does shield that right there. This is really bad for us. We did take this loss. My Snorlax does have an attack and defense debuff, meaning he has no chance against that Meganium. He also has no health and no extra energy from that superpower, so I ended up going down right here. Good game to my opponent. Okay guys, moving on to the 4th round, my opponent's first Pokemon is a Charizard. So Charizard is a fire and flying type Pokemon, meaning both of us will do neutral damage, but my superpower will do not very effective damage since superpower is a fighting type move. Fighting types are not very effective against flying types. So he will shield this. Yep, he did shield that. I could have baited him. If you do have a double move Snorlax, I recommend Body Slam and Superpower, because Superpower could come in clutch against these some moments, and Body Slam could be used for like shield baits. But I decided not to shield anything over here because I could swap out to my Chansey. I think Chansey would do more damage, but I swap out to Drifblim. So to get that Icy Wind off, the Icy Wind will do neutral damage to him. So I decided to shield it here since I already did have my Ice Beam loaded up. I'm thinking that he does not have double moves with Blast Burn, but he does make a really quick swap into Azumarill after he fires off that Dragon Claw. So Azumarill is in, so I swap out to my Chansey. So Azumarill, look at what damage Azumarill does. So that's really good for us. And my Drifblim, I don't think it can handle the Charizard. But oh, look how much that Hydro Pump did. That did barely any damage. That was like not very effective damage. Hydro Pump is neutral damage against normal types, and Chansey is a normal type Pokemon. But did you guys see that? That barely did any damage. So I'm not going to shield any of his moves. I could tank all of them. He does have double moves with Ice Beam and a Hydro Cannon. That is really good to know. So I get an Dazzling Gleam off right here. And yeah, he didn't shield that. He took the hit, but it barely did any damage, so it was okay for him. So he decides to swap back out to his Charizard. I think this was a Dragon Claw then. Yep, it is a Dragon Claw. So that barely did any damage once again. So I am going to try and farm him down, or like stick to the fast move farm down with my Pound. But I'm not gonna shield him right here. He did have a double move. So my Chansey ends up going down right there. He could not tank that blast, the overheat that he had, which was okay. I'm hoping my Drifblim can fight his Azumarill and his other Pokemon. So he does take the hit. It's an attack debuff. I'm thinking that it can't be. This is going to be an Ice Beam. Yeah, because he does not have enough time to charge up for that Hydro Cannon. He got his charge move too fast, and it ended up being an Ice Beam. So Ice Beam is a super effective damage attack, meaning because Ice is super effective against Drifblim's flying type. So he swaps out to a Meganium. Meganium is a grass type Pokemon, and this is a pretty good counter because grass types do not very effective damage against flying types. But he ends up getting a charge move off, and sadly I couldn't tank it. But so I ended up losing here, right here, getting to my opponent. For the 5th and final round, we have a really bad matchup. We are fighting a Machamp. So Machamp could technically 1v3 my whole team because he does have a Rock Slide. I'm guessing this is a Rock Slide that would do super effective damage. Yup, it did. Okay, that did a lot of damage. And the second Pokemon is a Berserker, so I will have to swap out to Snorlax. I counter a Shadow Claw fast move, and the superpower will do super effective damage if he decides not to shield. But I think he sadly did shield there, which is okay. At least we got a shield off. My Dazzling Gleam will do barely any damage, so if my Drift Bloom was still there, it may be, but I decided not to shield anything here, and it ended up being a close combat. This is not looking good. So close combat was a fighting type fast charge move. Fighting types are super effective against normal types, so I am getting smacked. And it ended up being another close combat. Yeah, it charged up pretty fast, but it didn't do that much damage that I had to worry about. I thought that it would be a drill gun, but it ended up being a close combat once again. So his whole team could technically 1v3. All of them counter my whole team. So this Machamp is using a cross chop maybe, because he just used a Rock Slide. Yep, it is a cross chop. This Dazzling Gleam will do super effective damage. I want to see how much damage it does if he does not shield. I'm thinking that it does not feint him. Yep, it didn't even feint him. So this is not looking good. I have one shield left. It's barely any health. This is going to, of course, be another close combat. This is not winnable, so unless he goes AFK, but yeah, and being another close combat, and I end up taking the loss once again. GG's to my opponent. Alright guys, that will actually be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. We actually got smacked with that team. We got no reward, sadly. That team is not that good, but you guys could try it out if you want. You can use your own gym defenders, but I ended up taking that loss right there, which is super sad. But please stay in tune for part 2, because I am going to post part 2 with another gym defending team. But if you guys enjoyed, comment down below if you want me to do these types of videos, or if you would rather enjoy some gameplay, like regular gameplay, what I do usually. But please consider showing your support by subscribing, liking, and turning notifications on. And thank you guys for watching. With that being said, I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye guys.